The status quo is no longer acceptable, and we are not going to continue to enrich the already wealthy. We're ready to draw down power and resources and put it into the hands of the people.
India Walton is running to become the first socialist mayor of a big American city in over 60 years. She upset four-term incumbent Byron Brown in Buffalo, New York's Democratic primary, showing it's possible to take down the establishment with a grassroots, volunteer-run campaign. Walton became a single mother at the age of 14 and served as a nurse, union organizer, and nonprofit executive before turning to politics. She won over voters by promising to shape the government around the needs of the marginalized communities she's advocated for her whole life, and she believes her campaign success can be a model for progressives around the nation.
Do you get tired of being asked about identifying as a socialist?
The honest answer is yes, but it is my job to explain what that means. Being a democratic socialist does not mean that I'm interested in seizing people's private property. It means that I put people at the center of my policies, that I am going to co-govern, that I expect to be held accountable. I am a leader, but first, I am a servant, and I am just excited about bringing forth policies that are going to prioritize working class people, that is going to reduce poverty, that is going to illuminate the need for healthcare as a human right and housing as a human right, and help average people understand that rugged individualism is a myth and hyper-capitalism is not what is going to get us there, but it's love that will.
What is the biggest challenge for the progressive movement going forward?
To create a big tent. We tend to be very purist, and if someone is not as woke as the rest of us, they tend to be dismissed. And I truly believe that we have to lead with love and care and meet people where they are. We all have learning to do. And we welcome everyone into the campaign at whichever level of understanding they have, and we'll continue to grow together.
If you had the ability to replace Hail to the Chief with one song, what would that song be?
Lizzo's Like a Girl. First line is, woke up feeling like I just might run for president.
Woke up feeling like I just might run for president.
It really is about identity and being able to define for yourself who you want to be, no matter how you started. It's about where you end up. And it's just a really encouraging and lively tune that I appreciate a lot.
Was there a moment you knew you wanted to get into politics?
I have for a long time felt like I have a purpose in Buffalo. I come from a generation of young African Americans, Black people, that when you are successful, you go to Charlotte, you go to Atlanta, you go to Seattle. But I always knew that I had a purpose here in Buffalo. I love the city so much. And I knew that eventually I would play some role in making it better, but never in my wildest dreams did I think that it was in the office of mayor.
Is there a person who inspired you to make the leap into politics?
Most recently, Cori Bush. But locally, I do stand on the shoulders of some pretty significant political figures like Crystal Peoples-Stokes, who's our Assembly Majority Leader, Betty Jean Grant, who's a longtime county legislator who also ran for mayor. Those are people who inspire me. Black women, especially nurses.
How has America changed, and how hasn't it changed since George Floyd was killed?
We are really having some difficult conversations surrounding race and policing, especially here in Buffalo and in many other cities of a similar size and demographic. A bigger part of the conversation needs to be about reimagining public safety as a whole, not only policing and the culture of policing, but also the culture in our community and addressing the community violence and prioritizing safety in ways that produce results, increasing educational attainment, such as providing more resources and reaching folks where they are so that we can have a community that's safe and thriving in the absence of over-policing. Over-policing doesn't work anyway.
What does your campaign mean outside of Buffalo? How does what you're doing fit into a national movement?
Our campaign is 100% volunteer run. It is truly grassroots, and it is democratically governed, right? Our leadership makes decisions together. And I think it's just a perfect example of the United States that we want to see. And it is proof that organizing still works and that you can win political campaigns that are deeply rooted and based in our values. And this is a time for inclusion, for unification, and for prioritizing workers and poor people. And I think that the country as a whole is waking up to the fact that when the least of us does well, then we all do better. The status quo is no longer acceptable, and we are not going to continue to enrich the already wealthy. We're ready to draw down power and resources and put it into the hands of the people.
In what ways has Joe Biden impressed you so far?
The expansion of the definition of infrastructure and talking about human infrastructure and prioritizing frontline workers. I want to see some movement on canceling student debt. I want to see finance and access to capital addressed, because we know that historically people of color and working class people have been locked out of things like mortgages, opportunities for home ownership, and things like that.
In what ways has Joe Biden disappointed you so far?
I would like to see more movement on immigration. Migration is a natural occurrence. People shift, so do butterflies and wind. I want there to be more opportunities for low barrier entryways into citizenship.
What have you missed most during the pandemic, and what are you excited to get back to?
I miss football. I can't wait to go to a Bills game. I can't wait to tailgate and cheer on our home team.
What has been your proudest moment?
Last year, my 19-year-old son graduated from high school. They didn't have a graduation. It was virtual, but I watched it on television. He was born at 24 weeks gestation, him and his twin brother. He weighed 1 pound, 7 ounces. And I was told that he would never walk or talk. And last year he graduated high school, and that is probably the single proudest moment that I've had in my life.
What has been your biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointment right now is the way I am being attacked personally after winning the primary. I'm like, hey guys, I just want to take care of poor people, and I don't see anything wrong with that. But the response from people who are powerful and wealthy, this sort of panic, this painting of me as a crazy socialist. I'm a human being, and I am doing this because I want what's best for my community. I have some self-interest in being mayor, but it's not that I'm some power-hungry, crazed lunatic while I'm doing this. I gave up a lot to make this happen, and this is a radical act of love.